get right. Let's 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 get right. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Make sure you get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, fam. Yeah, we still in it. We still discussing right now. Don't get it twisted. Bloodline, existence, and the times. Let's get into this here.
CERN just cranked the Large Hadron Collider up to a new record, smashing protons together with higher energy than ever before. And some wonder if these collisions could be bending reality itself. Scientists are hunting for faint energy signals from a shadow universe that could be leaking into ours. And one researcher even claims there's a secret portal deep underground, letting non-human entities in and out. These are more distinct signs CERN may have ripped through reality. Just back in May, CERN fired up the Large Hadron Collider again, this time hitting a new record with 13.6 trillion electron volts in proton collisions, higher than anything we've seen before. After 3 years of upgrades and maintenance, the collider is finally running at full power again, smashing protons almost constantly to collect massive amounts of data. And scientists are hoping to find new particles or forces that could explain some of the universe's biggest mysteries. The higher energy means collisions are more intense and more frequent, which also opens up the door to weird possibilities. Some wonder if extreme collisions like these could be doing more than creating particles we can detect. Could they be nudging the fabric of reality in ways we don't understand yet? Even if nothing visibly bizarre happens, every time the LHC hits a new energy record, there's a chance that something unexpected could be happening. LHC season is in full swing. If anything unusual were to happen, like tiny glitches in space-time, unexplained energy bursts, or subtle shifts in reality, this is the time. Now, CERN is actually hunting for signs of a completely hidden universe. Using the compact muon solenoid, or CMS detector, scientists have been looking for what they call soft, unclustered energy patterns. In plain English, these are tiny bursts of energy that don't form into normal particles like we usually see. And this sounds nuts, but there's a hypothesis that they could come from a hidden realm, sometimes called the Hidden Valley, a shadow version of our universe filled with particles we can't normally detect. The idea is that some of these hidden particles could briefly appear in collisions and interact with our world through a sort of mediator particle, creating faint signals that our detectors might pick up. These particles could decay into something called dark protons, which could, in theory, turn into ordinary particles like electrons or muons, tiny traces of another universe leaking into ours. Now, nothing like this has been detected yet. The experiments are brand new and super tricky. These energy patterns are faint and they spread out, so they're easy to miss among all the normal particles created in the collider. Still, the fact that CERN is deliberately searching for hidden realms in the first place, that's incredibly cool and a little unsettling. If these hidden valley particles exist, it means the collider could be brushing against a parallel dimension, even if only for a fraction of a second. And for anyone worried about reality itself, that's a pretty chilling thought. And if you think it's just randos on the internet thinking about this stuff, well, listen to this.
But it is more than that, because there are lots of physicians. I know some. They're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes.
That's scientist and researcher Dr. Astrid Stubbs at CERN. She claims she got a rare inside look after dining with some of the lab's own researchers. According to her, they described a strange portal deep underground, like a door, that supposedly lets non-human entities come and go. She says these beings have also left behind objects and mentioned a connection between CERN and military research. hinting that some experiments might be tied to attempts at manipulating or altering time. Now, these are obviously extraordinary claims, right? Just because she's a scientist doesn't mean you should automatically believe whatever she says, but it is interesting to hear a scientist make claims like this. If there's even a grain of truth to her story, it could mean the collider is dealing with something entirely unknown. CERN scientists just built the world's first antimatter qubit. Antimatter is supposed to be the mirror opposite of regular matter. And when the two touch, they completely annihilate each other. That's why it's so hard to study. But at CERN, researchers managed to trap a single antiproton, keep it stable, and actually use it as a quantum bit, the same kind of unit that runs quantum computers. Now, this isn't about building the next laptop, though. What they're really testing is one of the biggest mysteries in science: why anything exists at all. After the Big Bang, matter and antimatter should have canceled each other out instantly. If that happened, there'd be no stars, no planets, no people. Now, clearly that didn't happen. That's where this experiment gets unsettling. Physics is built on a rule called charge, parity, and time reversal symmetry, or CPT symmetry. It's the idea that matter and antimatter are perfect reflections of each other and follow the same laws. But if this antimatter qubit starts showing behavior that doesn't line up, then that rule is not absolute. It would mean that the universe doesn't always follow the rules we thought it did. One thing a lot of people don't realize about CERN is just how powerful the magnets in the Large Hadron Collider really are. These are not like fridge magnets or even the ones used in MRI machines. CERN's magnets are over 100,000 times stronger than Earth's own magnetic field. They're powerful enough to bend beams of protons racing at nearly the speed of light and keep them locked in a circular path. Some folks worry that fields this strong could have side effects outside the collider. There have been reports of compasses acting strange, birds veering off course, sudden drops in migratory patterns happening around the same year as CERN ramped up its power. Nothing officially linked to the experiments, but the timing has led to some questions. And it goes even deeper. CERN admitted their magnetic field has to be carefully contained, because if it leaked out the wrong way, it could interfere with electronics and other equipment nearby. So there's this idea floating around that this kind of force might be bending more than just particles, that it could be affecting the very fabric of space. People online share some seriously strange experiences, and ever since CERN started doing their experiments, there's been this conspiracy that it's caused some issues with our perceived reality. On Reddit and TikTok, users have posted about suddenly losing track of time, like checking the clock and realizing an hour or more has passed with no memory of it. Could CERN's activities be causing reality glitches, time travel even, opening portals or altering timelines? Now, all this stuff is anecdotal and unverifiable, but they do add to this growing list of weird phenomena people associate with CERN. One Reddit user posted about how since CERN Collider was turned back on, they've noticed more instances of the Mandela effect, like misremembered logos, lyrics. Is there hard scientific evidence linking CERN's experiments to this stuff? No, of course not, but the sheer volume of personal accounts is pretty interesting. CERN just kicked off something totally new at the LHC. For the first time ever, protons are smashing into oxygen ions. From late June to early July, the collider switched into a special mode. 2 days of proton-oxygen collisions, 2 days of oxygen to oxygen, and a day of neon collisions. Each type of collision creates completely different particle showers, giving scientists a crazy amount of data to study, everything from cosmic rays to what's called quark gluon plasma, which is the super hot soup that existed just after the Big Bang. See, right after the Big Bang, the universe was insanely hot and dense, and matter as we know it didn't exist yet. Instead, quarks and gluons, the building blocks of protons and neutrons, floated around freely in a soup before cooling down to form normal atoms. So making these collisions happen is really tricky. Protons and oxygen ions act differently in the accelerator, so if we just let them go, they wouldn't meet, they'd drift apart. Engineers have to carefully adjust how fast the beam goes and how much momentum it has, so they smash together right in the middle of the LHC's 4 big detectors. CERN is now using AI to help run the Large Hadron Collider, and it's changing everything. The collider smashes protons together of times every second, creating a huge flood of data. And obviously, humans can't sort through all of it, so AI decides almost instantly which collisions are worth keeping and which ones to ignore. One of the strangest things scientists are studying is the Higgs boson. You can think of the Higgs like an invisible molasses that sticks to particles and slows them down. That sticking is what gives particles their mass, basically what makes them heavy enough to form atoms, planets, stars, everything we see. Without the Higgs, the universe would just be a soup of energy with no real stuff in it. Normally, we only see one Higgs at a time, but CERN wants to catch two at once to see if the rules about how it works are really correct. If it behaves differently than expected, it could mean something about reality itself isn't as stable as we thought. CERN scientists recently discovered something they're calling a ghost inside of one of their oldest particle accelerators, the super proton synchrotron, or SPS. It's a weird energy pattern that makes particles behave strangely as they race around the 4-mile wide ring. To break this down, imagine rolling marbles around a circular track. Normally they follow the path smoothly, but if the track wobbles a little or a marble hits a tiny bump, it can bounce or speed up in weird ways. And that's what's happening with these particles. They're supposed to stay on this tight path, but tiny changes in the magnets make them wiggle and shift unpredictably. This effect is called a resonance, and it's like the particles are syncing up with each other in ways no one fully understands. Scientists can map it in 4 dimensions, basically tracking how it changes over time. And they're noticing these patterns can repeat, almost like the machine has its own heartbeat. If these ghosts, so to speak, weren't controlled, particles could scatter, lose energy, or create unexpected bursts of power. Ever since CERN began its collision experiments, people all across Europe have been reporting something unsettling. A low, constant hum, like some giant machine running underground. It's not coming from traffic, planes, or factories, and seismologists haven't tied it to earthquakes either. These hums often show up right after CERN is running intense experiments. Physicists at CERN haven't officially confirmed any kind of link, but some independent researchers think it could be tied to resonance.
All right, hold up. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You in here with your boy Dealatofficial, my fam. And this is No Filters. That like button, double tap that screen, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and share this with the world. Very important content, fam. This is what we're talking about today. We cooking. CERN. If you never heard of who CERN is. CERN is basically the people that pretty much discovered how light is even moving fast in the way that it's moving. Okay. CERN has been basically a bunch of professors that's dealing with matter, the speed of light, and constantly experimenting to see what science or what technology can take the world, take them, take us, right? So it's a lot of conversations about CERN when they started, how they operate, why they operate, what they do, and why they do it. The biggest problem is, though, Chris in the building, the biggest problem is, though, Uncommon in the building, Julian in the building, the biggest problem, though, is that scientists and professors started to complain about how dangerous it was for CERN to continue to experiment with exceeding expectation and trying to break records that was already reached, meaning the speed of light. They have found a way to go past the speed of light. So whatever the speed of light is, they went past that. So much so that certain professors and certain scientists felt dangerous to continue to work at CERN because they felt like portals could be open. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Excuse me. They felt like portals could be open because they feel like traveling at the speed of light is one thing. But as we watch movies and see what we're seeing, let's not be stupid, okay? If it walk like a, talk like a, we know what it is. If light is showing us that the speed of light is going so fast to where it can open up another dimension, or the speed of light can open up another realm, as we say, that is the conversation. That is the situation. That is the issue. Because once you start to open up portals in different dimensions and realms, we go back to the times, a different time, bloodlines, people that was here before us, different beings, Nephilim beings, other type of beings, and existence. The fact that they existed before us and they still exist now, just in a different form, or the descendants exist. So when we're talking about playing with light, playing with time travel, we're talking about opening up realms and dimensions that bring in spirits. And spirits are not me and you. We're human. We're mortals. Spirits, though. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We really want you to understand about CERN. CERN is a very important entity in this whole situation because they are the only ones that have truly been trying to discover. Because what I would want you to know is with technology, and the worst part about humans is once we reach what we've already strived for, we continue to keep going. And it's because of that drive and because of that unreachable satisfaction, we continue to push scientists. We continue to push technology. We continue to push the difference. We continue to try to recreate. And like my people have always told me, there is nothing new under the sun. Just as well as there is no new thought that you have. I bet you think you have new thoughts. I'm sorry, you don't have new thoughts. You don't have new thoughts at all. There's no position of you having new thoughts because of the world that we live in. Everything that's been done has either been recreated, remodeled, or reshaped. But we do not have new thoughts that haven't been thought of at all. Someone has thought of it before. It either hasn't been come to pass or it hasn't been made in a model for you to see the thought. Hit that like button. You're learning pretty much a lot about CERN right now. This gentleman is breaking down the new CERN, some of the newest discoveries. And one of them is that protons and some other name of some neutrons and things like that are clashing together, which we don't really know, but we know they are focused on something called Building 777. Now, you and I know, when I started to see 777, it felt like a substitute for 666. I'm just being real. And for a company to say building 777, what the hell is 777? You all have the death god statue outside of CERN. Don't forget that they had footage of people sacrificing, doing ritualistic activity outside of CERN. I mean, there's a lot of rumors. So for them to say building 777, I don't know why you wouldn't think that's building 666. Obviously, you wouldn't want to say that because we know that if that's said, then we know everything they're doing is demonic and is stuck. But to just hear that, I read up on that and I seen that they're building 777 and then they're going to shut down mandatory for 2 years. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to get you to understand that they're building something that's to infinity and beyond. And then they're calling it building 777. And then they are going to shut down for 2 years. Mandatory. You can Google this. Why are they building that and then just going to shut down mandatory? To me, my ideal, what I believe, theory, They're doing what they're doing so they can reach whatever they need to reach to start whatever operation need to be started. And as long as they shut down in 2 years, you would never say that CERN had something to do with demonic spirits and demonic things going on in the world. So when we know that's the true movement, that's the true meaning, that's the true real, we know, fam. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. It's real. Let's go.
Terms, that's when, again, one vibration starts matching another and amplifies it. All those massive magnets and particles flying around at crazy speeds, it's possible the collider is making the ground itself vibrate. Some people even wonder if this hum is more than just a cell. Maybe it's a sign that the experiments are doing something weird beyond the lab. I've been your host, James. I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video. Particles near the speed of light have caused more than we bargained for. Something subtle, something strange. Did the LHC fracture time itself? Let's dive into the mystery of CERN, portals, and timeline splits. And if this is still the timeline where you clicked this video. All right, so we're starting light, just a little casual timeline collapse. But seriously, there's something irresistibly spooky about the idea that reality itself might have been nudged sideways by a particle collider. It's like when your browser crashes, but instead of a light going down, it's history. And yes, while the science is solid, it doesn't stop people from connecting the dots with their own memories or glitches. I'm not saying I personally remember Looney Tunes being spelled differently, but I'm also not saying I don't either. Anyway, let's ground this thing before it floats into full tinfoil mode. Here's what CERN is actually doing and why it became the center of the weirdest theory you've probably ever heard. Large Hadron Collider. So, what is CERN exactly? Well, CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research. It's Switzerland, and it's kind of like the Nerd Avengers HQ for particle physics. It was founded in 1954 by 12 countries. Now it has 23 member states, and it's home to the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC, the world's most powerful particle accelerator. Imagine a 17-mile-long underground ring where protons are flung at each other at 99.99999% the speed of light. Why? Well, recreate the conditions just moments after the Big Bang. In 2012, this is where the Higgs boson, sometimes called the God particle, was finally discovered. Big win for science. But with that kind of power, some people started to wonder what else might the LHC be doing. In the run-up to its launch in 2008, there was public concern. Some of it tongue-in-cheek, but some generally fearful that the LHC might create black holes or to open the fabric of reality. Spoiler, it didn't, but it did create a cultural ripple. Videos went viral, theories exploded, and let's not forget the statue of Shiva the Destroyer that greets visitors outside CERN's headquarters. It's meant to symbolize the cosmic dance of creation and destruction in Hinduism, but to internet sleuths, it added a nice pinch of ominous sci-fi energy. All this, the cutting-edge science, the doomsday, the mystical symbolism, created a perfect storm. The idea that it could open portals, split timelines, or, depending on who you ask, swap Bernstein for Bernstein. But before we go full Twilight Zone, let's zoom in on a very specific date, July the 4th, 2012. Because after that moment, some people say reality started behaving strangely. So yeah, CERN, a place where scientists recreate the Big Bang and the internet recreates the X-Files. And look, that Shiva statue, absolutely iconic. But if you're trying to convince people you aren't opening portals to alternate dimensions, maybe don't lean into that aesthetic of a cosmic destroyer god at the entrance. It's just a thought. Still, it's easy to see how the vibe took hold. You've got massive machines underground, invisible particles flying around at near light speed, and announcements about discovering new fundamental forces at a dash of TikTok, Reddit, and a public that already mistrusts big science. And boom, you've got a recipe for the most polite apocalypse theory ever. No explosions, no monsters. Just you wake up one day and Looney Tunes looks off. Let's take a closer look at the moment people all started going sideways. The moment everything changed. Let's rewind to September 10th, 2008, the day the Large Hadron Collider was powered on for the first time. There was excitement, awe, and yes, a lot of memes about tiny black holes eating the planet. But nothing happened, at least not visibly. Then came July the 4th, 2012. CERN made headlines again. This time, they'd done it. Scientists announced the discovery of the Higgs boson, a particle so foundational to our understanding of matter that it was nicknamed, seemingly jokingly, the God particle. But some people, they noticed something. Not with the collider, not with the scientists, but with reality itself. Shortly after the second major activation, reports of Mandela effects began spiking online. People described things they knew they'd seen or heard differently in the past. TV lines, logos, even major world events. The catch? There was no record, no proof, just memories. Some theorists online began to float an idea. What if the energy released at CERN didn't destroy the world, but nudged it? What if on some imperceptible level, we slipped into a nearly identical but slightly altered version of reality? It wasn't a bang, it was a slide. Like waking up in your own bed, but the wallpaper's just a little off. Stories began circulating. People vividly remembered an old building downtown that suddenly wasn't there anymore. A childhood book series that had its name magically changed. A historical event recalled with perfect clarity, but now it apparently never happened. Coincidence, collective misremembering, or something else? Let's be clear. There's no scientific evidence that CERN broke the universe. But the idea that something shifted after these experiments, it caught fire. Because if our sense of reality is already fragile, how would we even know if it had changed? Okay, so you're telling me we might have slipped timelines, but nobody noticed because the cereal aisle looked mostly the same. That's exactly the kind of quiet apocalypse I'm not mentally prepared for. But seriously, this is where it's juicy, because when thousands of people all start remembering things that don't exist, it gets hard to just blame bad memory. And I don't know about you, but about the Monopoly man's missing monocle. I saw it, I remember it. I was emotionally attached to that monocle. Now, sure, correlation isn't causation. The LHC didn't necessarily trigger a cosmic Photoshop session. But the timeline shift theory is compelling precisely because it's so subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Next up, we get into the Mandela effect and why people are remembering things that apparently never happened. The Mandela effect connection. So let's talk about the Mandela effect. It's named after Nelson Mandela, of course, because some people vividly remember him.
Shout out Uncommon Woman said, Dealatofficial, will you be showing or talking about Darby's sermon on CERN? I heard about it, didn't really tap into it fully, understandably. I don't mind doing that for you, Uncommon. But I wanted to get some understanding on CERN and the foundation of what they was based on, the reason why CERN even exists. You know, it's like saying a bunch of, and it's not no shade to nobody, but that's like saying a bunch of nerds then created a big building and put all this light and energy in there and just basically doing experiments to see how fast light travel. And then they found out how fast light travel. And then they went past that point and said, let's see how fast we can start opening up some shit. That's basically what it is. And you have people that talked about it. So what I'm about to show right now is that the conversation that this man is about to have about CERN and the real reason CERN is here and what they are moving towards.
Like the science of it. When I first saw it back when this was trending online.
And I think this was important because, I'm gonna step into Darby's sermon about CERN because I think it's important. But I think I just want to give you some real true background on real reasons and what they are doing, what the scientists at CERN are doing, what they believe in and what they really want to happen in the future for CERN and the people. And I think that's important because once we find that out, it hits different because then it makes you look at Pastor Darby's sermon about CERN in a different way. Because if you don't know nothing about it, but then you hear something about it, you can't really get into it. But if you know about it and then you heard a sermon about it and what it really has to do with spiritually, I think you can understand, you know, whose focus is what and what's the reason for CERN being existing today.
Isaac, welcome back to Coast AM. How are you?
Hey, Richard, thanks for having me back on here. That was a wonderful intro. You explained everything about
He's talking about CERN.
I appreciate you for doing that.
No, not at all. So explain CERN to me, the Large Hadron Collider, like I'm 12 years old, because that's not far from the truth.
I feel you. Sometimes I wonder about that myself. So if we research this from, everything I do, I come from this sort of conspiracy / systems engineering background filter that I view the world through, right? And with CERN, I look at this and I think this is basically humanity's most advanced scientific experiment to basically try to peer into the mind of God by studying what happens when they collide these particles at very high speeds to try to figure out what the universe is made of, how all of this started. They're trying to replicate what happened right after the Big Bang and all these sorts of things. So they take this Large Hadron Collider underground. It's a 17-mile circle, basically, and they smash these particles near the speed of light. And this helped them confirm things like the Higgs boson particle, which we can talk about because that fits into a lot of the occult agendas. But as far as like the aspects of CERN and how it relates to the conspiracy world and why, we're all interested in this kind of stuff, there's some basic ideas. There's like the symbolism. People point to the symbol of CERN and the logo. It looks like 3 overlapping 6s. And, that points us to, mark of the beast stuff, right? But
it's been around.
Another idea, one that's maybe a little more grounded in reality, is that because they're moving particles near the speed of light, it's believed that once you get up to those speeds, that one could in fact travel through time. That's what a lot of the movies like Interstellar and all this stuff is all about. But some of the stuff that they've told us, the scientists themselves have told us that they're creating mini black holes, they're opening portals, they're peering through veils and possibly making contact with entities from other realms. And from here, the conversation can spread out into talk about extraterrestrial contact. You could talk about Mandela effect, right? Which a lot of people are familiar with. It's this idea that things that we remember aren't quite what they say they are anymore. Like one weird thing is that Sally Field, the actress, we all remember her name being Sally Fields, but now they're telling us, well, her name is Sally Field and you've been mistaken all this time, as well as the speech she gave where she said, "You like me, you really, really like me." They're also saying like, well, that's not what she said at all during the speech. So a lot of people think that there's people messing with timelines and reality, and that would be CERN. Strangely enough, Sally Field, her brother, Sally Fields, whatever you want to say, her brother, he actually works at CERN. He helped discover the Higgs boson.
Get out of town. Really?
Yeah, kind of crazy, huh, Richard? So, and then another aspect of CERN, one last thing, is that they invented the World Wide Web, which is, we're not talking about the internet necessarily. That was created through the ARPANET, which we can also talk about later. But they created the World Wide Web, which is kind of like the graphic user interface that, us non-scientists use to interface with the architecture of the internet, so into the current age.
So you mentioned the Higgs boson particle that they're trying to, I guess, find by smashing these particles together at near the speed of light. Sometimes it's referred to as the God particle. How does that fit into a possible occult agenda?
So when we look at this, right, we have to understand, the God particle. The physicists, they were referring to this as they were having a hard time finding it or proving its existence. So it was a curse word. It was like the GD particle, and they shortened it to God particle. And it has actually nothing to do with whether proving or disproving God exists. That's kind of something that we as non-scientists, sort of normies, have put onto this term. But the Higgs boson was something that they confirmed in 2012 at CERN when, again, they were like, smashing particles near the speed of light. And what it was proving was the existence of this cosmic field that exists all around us. And this is me being a non-scientist trying to explain it, but from what I understand, it's the thing that gives mass to atoms, and it gives weight and structure to the material world. Because when you get down into the quantum level, everything is sort of like vibrating energy, and it gets kind of strange. But the point is that the idea is that the Higgs boson is this sort of field, this cosmic field of energy. And from this, when you research the history of the occult and how a lot of these people think, they subscribe to various things like the perennial philosophy, and this guides a lot of concepts of like Kabbalah and stuff, that the nature of reality is kind of illusory in a way. And the magicians, because like it gets into weird like occult magician territories, but they believe that they can influence and manipulate reality. And this all goes back to the Hermetic, the Western Hermeticism aspects of Hermes and Thoth and kind of wacky stuff. But the idea specifically of the Higgs boson giving mass to atoms ties us into the idea of Saturn in the terms of mythology, because Saturn is this force that introduces the concepts of time, weights, and measurements, and sort of creates a material realm. The way of describing this is that in one of the books by Mark Booth, who explains the history of the occult, the human was able to form a consciousness through the creation of the skull, which was able to contain the brain. Because before that, we were just, primordial ooze. And when you introduce the dead material of the skull, now the brain can form, which then can form a frontal lobe and a consciousness and so on. So we evolved into this through Saturnian material stuff. And where this goes in the realms of the occult is that they now want to go the other way, and they want to go from, because originally we went from the spirit realm to the material. Now they want to take us the other way, go from the material realm back to the spiritual. And this is like basically the idea of putting us into a digital consciousness or a digital matrix is kind of the end game for that.
So many people seem fearful of some of the experiments that they're performing at CERN. We hear talk about, well, they're going to unleash a black hole that's going to swallow the universe, or are any of these fears founded as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think so. I think that when you look at the history of science, and I'm a student of the sciences myself, so I'm not anti-science necessarily, right? When you look at it, so for instance, my undergrad was in electronic engineering with a minor in mathematics, and when we were studying, and at the time I didn't realize this, but all the derivations of the formulas for mathematics and the people that discovered these things, they were all occultists, basically. We're talking about Pythagoras, like with the Pythagorean theorem, and Rene Descartes, like all these kinds of these sort of great minds of the past. They were all interested in the occult, which just means the hidden.
Get money.
From this, you could argue that they are toying with stuff that's beyond us, and this is beyond what we should be messing with. And I think with CERN, for an example I would give would be in 1945 when we did the Trinity bomb test. There were scientists that were suggesting we shouldn't do this because they said, hey, there's actually a chance that splitting the atom could sort of rupture the atmosphere and basically kill all of us. But they proceeded to do it anyway. And that's my concern with science, is that they kind of have this move fast and break things attitude. And with CERN, I can't imagine that's any different.
Yeah, he's trying to explain to you CERN and the way they have moved. We got Ruth in the building. Good to see you, Ruth. Glad to see you. Really good to see you. Hope all is well. Praying for you, truly. So he is talking about CERN and what they've been doing. And then he spoke about how scientists was like, hold up, dirty. Y'all might do something that could possibly kill somebody or do something to someone. And because of that, they had to speak up to the courts about that. And everybody just threw that out like that was nothing. So think about it. They telling people like, hold up, don't do that because you possibly can open up realms and all of a sudden you can invite demons in because that's all that portals do. Let's go.
So the formulas for mathematics and the people that discovered these things, they were all occultists, basically. We're talking about Pythagoras, like with the Pythagorean theorem, and Rene Descartes, like all these kinds of these sort of great minds of the past. They were all interested in the occult, which is just.
So all the great minds of the past, everybody that was figuring out something, everybody that looked into something, everybody that was about something for something, they all was occultists. They all was looking into that. And that is anybody that's following them are occultists as well. And that's the situation right now. We're talking about how they all was occultists. None of them was about Jesus, the Savior, the Most High, Yahshua, none of that. Teachings. Let's go.
It means the hidden.
Yeah, but even when we're talking about the fallen ones type of thing, we're talking about occultists like which for sure about Alex Crowe, but the other guy that created the rocket ship, you know what I mean, the first, to be trying to go to the moon, right? All three, and they originally was called the Rat Pack. That was their original name, the Rat Pack. That was them. Actually, I'm tripping. The original name was Suicide Squad. So the guys that originally was right, they were occultists though. That was the whole point, right? So none of them still was of God or anything. They all was occultists, people that invented the first rocket. Aleister Crowley talking about do what thou will, and they actually met each other together. So it was a bigger deal. Let's go.
And
right
from this, you could argue that they are toying with stuff that's beyond us, and this is beyond what we should be messing with. And I think with CERN, for an example I would give would be in 1945 when we did the Trinity bomb test. There were scientists that were suggesting we shouldn't do this because they said, hey, there's actually a chance that splitting the atom could sort of rupture the atmosphere and basically kill all of us. But they proceeded to do it anyway. And that's my concern with science, is that they kind of have this move fast and break things attitude. And with CERN, I can't imagine that's any different. And they've played on the fear of the public as well. They had in 2015, there was a Friday the 13th event where they were doing an experiment and they were kind of warning us about like, hey, we're going to create, we talk about Shiva. Shiva's the god of creation and destruction. So a lot of people have concerns about this, because Shiva it's this concept of not necessarily the end of the world, but more about the ending of a cycle or a renewal of which Shiva participates with their partner, right? Shiva has a consort, Shakti, and without the consort, which to be fair, like you don't see the consort of Shakti statue there at all, but the idea of Shiva is like, this is the consciousness.
Y'all gotta forgive me, man, because I start talking and get into this real life stuff uncommon. They get to hate, they get to hold me back. I got to disconnect, come back, got to move this over, move that over. That's how they do me, fam. When we get to talking about saving life, hit that like button, double tap that screen, because we in here cooking and they hate.
But it needs the consort to sort of complete the circle, and that's when the magic happens. So when Shiva is mating with his consort Shakti, that's when the sort of sex magic completion happens. That's when these opposing polarities come together, and that's how you get the creation and destruction.
Wow.
And Shakti goes by various forms and depictions, like Kali is one of them, and Kali is kind of like the bloodthirsty entity that you see with like the tongue sticking out and holding severed heads and like this sort of death symbolism. But nonetheless, when these two opposing polarities come together, they form this unity of consciousness, and this creates a certain sex magic energy. And it needs this. It's kind of a weird concept because Shiva needs a destructive force in order to destroy, but not entirely annihilate. So the Shiva is the feminine energy that prevents it from happening, from burning all the way to the ground. It kind of gets into weird alchemical territories from how I understand it. Like as in alchemy, it's about breaking something down and dissolving something down to the prima materia, to the foundational basis, so that you can rebuild it in a more perfect manner. It's not about total obliteration or total annihilation. It's about removing all the imperfections, which is kind of the scary part of this when you look at what the elites do and how they think and operate, and they look at us as the imperfections, and they want to sort of torch the world down to just have just the finest people left. You see this in there's a show called Fallout on Amazon. It's kind of the plot line of that show. But when we talk about Shiva and Shakti, we're talking about sex magic, which takes us into tantric cults. But it's all about these opposing polarities of masculine and feminine, which is kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Saturn being this force that can take order and chaos and integrate these opposing forces in order to create the world in which we live.
So if Shiva represents destruction and rebirth, let's say, how does that symbolism relate to physics?
So in physics, like everything is based off of the...
So right now, he's talking about, hit that like button, double tap that screen. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care who in here. Just make sure you hit that like button, double tap that screen, okay? Listen to me. So what he's discussing is the statue that's in the front of CERN. It's like Shiva or Shiva, something like that, right? So he's talking about,
Yeah, Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva. So what he's talking about is how Shiva and the other guy comes together to create order, chaos. And that's basically like, the people that are enlightened, are people of the elite. They believe in order, chaos, or ordered chaos or whatever like that, right? So what he's saying is that why would that statue even be outside of CERN if they don't have nothing to do with it? Because, Shiva, shout out to you, Uncommon Woman, Shiva being in a situation where you can see, why would she be outside of CERN? I mean, come on, man. Like, it ain't there just for a nice painting. It looks nice. Come on, because even when I heard about the Nephilim descent dude, and he talked about his grandfather, right? Respectfully, good-looking family, I'm going to tell you something. He said that his grandfather put that torch, evil Satan torch, in the Statue of Liberty hand. He was a builder. That's what he said. So when you actually seeing all of this, like the Medusa head for Starbucks, all of that type of stuff, like that ain't, come on, man. We can draw a nice looking something. Why are we picking Medusa head to create Starbucks? You know what I'm saying? So we got to read in between them lines, and we got to know that they walk like a talk like a, we know what it is. But at the end of the day, we won't allow this to blind us and not say, hey, listen, they got some demonic stuff outside the building. They're trying to create portals. And we really need to know the seriousness of it and what that has to do in biblical terms and what it is for our future. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, because he explained in Shiva, and this is what we're talking about right here. We're talking about CERN, the portal, the new machine, or the new electron and protons that has clashed together to create a new God light in CERN. Also, they're talking about Nephilim, because if you was able to go back, Ruth, you will be able to look at some the episodes about Nephilim, about the fact that the fallen ones came down and found themselves to be able to get human-like bodies to be able to have relations with mortal women, and then their offspring was called Nephilim. But the big situation about that is that time was started with spiritual. Life started spiritually, and then they're created man. Okay, now it's man that's running the world in time, and now they want to get back to spiritual. So it's basically a big circle, a big reverse. It's spiritual to mankind, and now they're making mankind back to spiritual. And that is the whole point of CERN, constantly experimenting on how to open portal. experimenting on how to go faster than the speed of light. And as they do this, you have other scientists and other professors that's saying we need to stop, because if we continue to do this, we're going to open up portals, open up dimensions, and open up realms that will allow people that exist, bloodlines that was before us, and how the times back then and now will be the same. And if you read your Bible, God said the days or the last days will be of the days of Noah. So that would put it in your mind that whatever the day, if you could go read what the days of Noah, Genesis 1 through 6, you can see it, Genesis 6, keep going. You can read it and it tells you what those days were like. And now you're talking about different beings, different creatures, different demonic spirits, because let me tell you this if you don't believe. Sin was in the earth. Even when the first world was passed over through water, 40 days, 40 nights, even through that, everybody didn't wash away. Sin was still hurt. Certain giants was still hurt. Certain people still hid in areas and still came out the woodworks. So if you thought that it was just me and you heard, you out your damn mind. Because the bloodlines of times that you and I come from started then. So it ain't did nothing but descend into the world. That's all that this has done. You have been a descendant of whatever bloodline. Somebody else a descendant of the bloodline. Blood within in the building. These descendants are from everywhere. You talk about the Mayans. You talk about these other people. You talk about these people over there in these mountains. You talk about these Seminole Indians. It's so many different types of people. But there are descendants of Nephilim that are here on earth. And what CERN is doing, and that's why I had to bring up CERN, because I'm trying to connect the dots about the Nephilim, the creatures, and how they're going to be able to come back. Also, Ruth, if you weren't able to pay attention to this other episode we just did, talking about pastors having a meeting with some officials that know the government, but they're not the government. Let me say that again. It wasn't a meeting with pastors and the government. It was pastors meeting with people that know government officials, and they felt like they needed to speak up about what they were hearing. It's a difference. That means the government knows something, not telling us, and these group of people was like, no, we need to call them and tell them. Now, whether they was fake or whether they was conspiracy theorists, the fact that they opened up their mouth and said there's something coming and you need to warn the church. So we found out the pastors that they talked about, the pastors spoke about, and they seen things that they said was showing them that something's coming, and it's just like Project Bluebeam, Chris, because I heard about Project Bluebeam back in like 1980 something, 70 something, and then they stopped talking about it. And then all of a sudden, Project Bluebeam is brought back up today in 2026, and they standing on it. So I believe in my right mind that CERN is the way. Let me tell you what CERN is doing right now if you didn't hear me. CERN is building, it's called, this is the name of the project, listen to me. It's called Building 777. I almost cut somebody out for hearing that. Because who the fuck? Stop playing with me, fam. Like you wouldn't think that was supposed to be 666? Why are we saying 777? That's the new 666, right? Yeah. This ain't Powerball, nigga. This ain't lottery. Stop playing. They know what they're doing, and they don't want to obviously say that because they know how straightforward and demonic that is. Why would CERN be saying we build this? Why would CERN have a demonic God outside statue? They have rituals. We can pull up rituals that CERN was doing outside of their building that was showing people with full black robes on in a circle with flames outside the building of CERN. And then you talk about Project Building 777. So that thoroughly lets me know that y'all really building 666, Project 666. And then that's what they supposed to do. They supposed to shut down for 2 years once it's done. Now, don't tell me I ain't stupid that y'all finna invite something in here. Y'all that created this machine enhanced the machine, then upgraded the machine, and then found out a new dimension, and then said it's called Project Building 777, and then we gonna close this thing for 2 years. So when shit get out of hand, none of you niggas gonna say CERN did it. That's how that works. They're gonna set it up, it's gonna be out there, and they're gonna shut down for 2 years. That's what they're saying. You can Google it right now. They're gonna shut down for 2 years. So they're gonna literally put the operation in movement and just slowly walk away. And tell you that they already was shutting down for 2 years. In 2 years, anything can happen. This is what the message was from the pastors. Demons was telling them to tell us that they're coming, that God is not God, that whatever we believe, that's true, but it's not all the way. You need to be with them, get the mark of the beast for you to see salvation the rest of your life and for you to be eternally living. That's the message. Who the hell sent in there? They didn't say tell the people of the world. They said tell the pastors, the church, Christians. If that wouldn't make you think that this is spiritual warfare for real, then you really gonna be so lost, you might well just kill yourself. I'm sorry. Because you think for a minute that you would think that some entities is telling people to tell us something? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You finna hear this for real.
Like the atomic structure, right? Like there's always like this, you've got the neutrons and then you've got like the protons and electrons. And if there's like a, like an imbalance, like when you're like trying to create a current in an electrical current, there has to be like extra electrons available to sort of create the current to allow things to flow. So like they're always looking at it in terms of different polarities of positives and negatives in terms of like the science of it. When I first saw it back when this was trending online and stuff, I'm actually fairly rational. I don't really buy into most conspiracies. I do find them interesting, so I research them all, and some have a little more weight than others. But this one in particular, I kind of thought, I don't know, it just seemed like a silly publicity stunt. But ask me again now that it's 10 years later and I'm reading these emails and all these files about crazy stuff going on with very rich and powerful people. Now I'm a little more concerned that maybe this was a real thing we saw in the sense that this is actually how a lot of these sort of ceremonies would take place, right? You've got the black robes, and this woman was like you said, there was a blade there was a dagger, and this is used in magical ceremonies. It's called an athame, right? And supposedly this was CERN came out and said this was a hoax prank video and all that. But I mean that's to me it's kind of weird. But then I looked at the timing of the whole thing, and that's what's curious, because when you talk about ritual, you always have to look at the alignments and the astrology and the timing of when people do this stuff. And the video was released right in mid-August, right at the end of what they call the Lion's Gate portal. That is a portal that peaks on August 8th. And the Lion's Gate portal is important to people that practice astrology, which astrology, this is actually the sort of foundation of all.
Why the hell is the movie people named Lion's Gate? See, this is even of the world even more to just tell your dumb ass, if you stupid, to open up your ears. Because clearly everything of the world has have a name of some occult or demonic stuff. And I ain't even trip on that. But I ain't know Lion's Gate did that, and that man just pointed that out. Because the Lion's Gate is really something real. But why does it have that? Why would they use that demonic to call it the movies, fam? What we doing with it? You ever tripped off how Paramount, when it come on and all the stars line up, how many stars that is? You ever tripped off how Paramount come out and it show how the stars are falling? All the stars are falling. You see, that's literally falling at fam. I'm telling you, that's what they showing how they falling, and they over the water. That symbolizes fallen angels, man. Everything about all of this is that. You understand? Pay attention. We got to pay attention. I can show you that. Yeah, it show you 13. You can count the stars. It show you can count the stars. You can count how they fall, and then at the end, and then like MGM with the Lions Gate, and they show the two lions. If you look in the between, you can see the Baphomet face and everything, the way it lines up. Oh, we're gonna learn something today. We're gonna learn something today. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. It's in our face.
Occult practices. It goes all the way back to Babylon, the stargazers, and they find it very important to sort of unlock certain gates by doing things in alignment when the stars were right. And the Lion's Gate portal is this window of energy that they can use when the sun is in Leo and it's aligned with the Earth and the star system of Sirius. It's like a binary star, and Sirius it's by far the most important star in the occult. Like the Freemasons, they'll use a symbol and they call it the blazing star. You'll find that at all the lodges, and it actually represents Sirius. And even Aleister Crowley, the current magical source that he was utilizing was believed to have come from Sirius. And it goes on and on. So the Lionsgate portal is part of this incorporation of the star Sirius, and magicians would use this energy for rituals of manifestation. And, you know, this plugs into this whole magical realm ruled by all these gods like Hermes and Thoth. And specifically Hermes is interesting because Hermes is the god of ritual sacrifice. So the fact that those elements line up with this video, that's the kind of stuff that I think, you know, maybe this was a real thing that we witnessed.
Do we know who filmed it?
And as far as I know, no. I mean, it's kind of weird where you've got someone who supposedly is filming this, and then they get spooked and they run away and then proceed to upload it. So, like, those are the kinds of things that I think this is kind of sensational. This is kind of Blair Witch Project. But it's when I look at the other aspects of the ritual that actually would have taken place in the way, in the time that this video was made, that I think, you know what, maybe there's something to this.
And as you say, CERN dismissed it as a...
And see, this is what you got to understand about people like that, because he's talking about, like, maybe it's something to this. Maybe this something is something. I'm looking at this side of it, but it could be that. It may be this. No! If it walk like it, if it talk like it, that's what it is. And see, when you listen to these type of white people right here, they do all these other little, you know, I think it might be this because it seemed like it, but, you know, it was just weird. Or, you know, it was just crazy. Or, you know, that was uncomfortable. Shut the f. That means it ain't what it is. So this next video we about to look at, fam about to really break down CERN and what it got to do with your life. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. Listen to me. I pray that while you over there knowing everything you can know with your life and everything you study and everything you believe in, I pray, Lord Jesus, that there is some type of compass to your travels. I pray that there truly is a direction for you, for your destination. Let me say that again. I pray that you have direction for the destination. Because what we looking at and what's going on, we talking about real, live demons and spirits that'll walk up on your ass like Avengers movie and take your little life. With a thump of a finger, with a swipe of a hand, with a growl of a look in your eyes, can take you just like that. It ain't a man or a woman in here right now that can fight a demon. It ain't a man or a woman in here that can handle a Nephilim descendant. I urge you to read the stories of the last days of what's going on in the days of Noah. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If it comes to pass in any way, shape, form, or fashion, if we in our house and we look outside and Project Bluebeam has commenced, I would love to know what you going to do. I would love for somebody to just type in here what you going to do. If Project Bluebeam commenced outside your door, and you look up, fam, and you looking at I don't even know the size. You looking at some creature in the sky telling you who they are, and what you got to do to live your life, or you will die. Wow. This is crazy. Because I'm telling you, some of y'all going to be up in here, don't know nothing, and going to turn straight into an alien in front of everybody right there. Your cousin going to be on the couch. And y'all all going to be looking up, and you going to just go straight into ET phone home. We going to hit this. You better get in this. Because if you don't, they're going to come down there and snatch your ass up. And you ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. Because you can't shoot a spirit. You can't cut a spirit. You can't light a spirit on fire. You can't shoot a laser at a spirit either. You got to fight spirit with spirit. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I ain't heard nobody with no power in their name but Jesus. Shout out to a love within. You better hear me right now. I ain't really heard nobody else name that's holding power to make niggas shake, or to make people shiver, or to make people back up, or to make no, not people. Oh, matter of fact, people, my bad, because demons work throughout people. As the devil seeks in whom he may devour every day, he got to find a body to host him. Someone must host demons. Someone must host demonic. We all must host spirit. And as the days go on all day, we just opening up the gates for that spirit to just either come in or leave. Some of y'all don't even know how much often that you even encounter a spirit. You ain't even encountering the person you talking to. You be talking to a whole spirit. Somebody better hit that like button, double tap that screen. You ain't heard me, fam. You be talking to a spirit in a human. And the whole time, this person is to devour you in your face. So I tell you now, what are you using for defense? What is your defense for a demon? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. I need to know, what is your defense for a demon? What is your defense for spirit? What is your defense? Shout out to Pastor Darby about to let us know what CERN do to him and what it's doing to us for real. Because a lot of us have no defense. Let's go.
Into this message. There's so much to it. It's so much to it. I don't even know how to get in it, but I'm going to try. Now, what is CERN? Now, I'm going to break this down as easy as I can possibly make it so you'll understand it. There is a facility over in Switzerland. It's a 17-mile underground circle that they put 300 feet underground, and 17 miles wide. What they are doing is they are taking matter, or you learned this in school where you know what an atom is, matter, the building blocks, the smallest particle, matter, right? They're taking that and they're shooting it at the speed of light through this 17-mile circle, which is a magnetic field that, and they're shooting it as fast as they can get it because they're trying to go through another dimension. They've already said what they're trying to do. Now, the particles that they're shooting create something. And I'm going to get into this and show you how all of this is working. Now, this is the most dangerous thing that there is. This is the revelation. This is what the book of Revelation was talking about. They are going to have this thing that's going to be in full power by September this year. They've already started up. It takes months to get it at full speed. They had it started 2 years ago, but it wasn't enough power, so they doubled the power. And they started it up this time. And what it does, they find in other things that it does. Now, they say they don't know what's going to happen. That's what they say. I don't believe that. But they say that something is going to bend time and space. Now, you've been watching this through movies. All this time, you've been watching this. I told y'all that they are putting this stuff in the movies because they're conditioning you for it. Because they're conditioning you for what's coming. You got to realize all the movies is about fighting against this alien thing or whatever's coming. They're getting you ready to fight against something that's coming. Y'all there? Now, so what they're doing is with this over in Switzerland is there's now Stephen Hawking, which is the top physicist. You know that little crippled dude in the wheelchair, but he's a physicist. He can't even talk, but he's must got some type of good mind. He told him don't do it. He said they are getting ready to open the gates of hell. He said don't. He said it's the scariest thing he's ever seen. And you got to realize this guy's an atheist, but he knows don't do this because he knows that they're trying to open space. Now, every movie, especially the latest superhero movies, is telling you the same thing. All the Transformer movie was about opening a portal to get stuff, really trying to bend space to make it easier for whatever coming from one dimension to the next. It's just a window. It's an opening. You remember a movie called Stargate? It was just an opening from one place in space to another. You got what I'm saying? Time travel. You can say all of that, but it's basically just portals. Say portals. Now, I taught this a while back in a message called The Portals of Darkness. And I was saying stuff that I didn't even research. I didn't even know. I was saying that by the Spirit. Wow. And I was so shocked how accurate I was when I researched it now. That what I was talking about was exactly what they're doing. Are y'all heard what I'm saying? So, now, when they take these particles and shoot them at the speed of light, when it gets to full capacity, it's going to release something called antimatter. Say antimatter. So we got matter and antimatter. Now, matter is good matter. That's good stuff. That's what we are. That's what you can see. But there's also, but antimatter is the opposite. It's like darkness and light. Matter would be light and antimatter would be darkness. This machine is allowing them to collect antimatter or darkness. Now, they say that the antimatter that they get, what they're collecting, comes from the place on the other side of that dimension, right? Come on, y'all stay with me now. I told you this is gonna be scientific.
See, let me tell you something.
Now,
listen to me. Let me tell you something.
They have found
everybody in here right now. I want to see your alien hands right now because they found people in the portal. That man just told me aliens coming in here. Some of us gonna have to really get on this. Everybody in here right now. I need to see it. This is what you're gonna have to do if they pull up on you. You hear me? Ain't no game about her, no playing about none of this. You're gonna have to walk past, probably chant some shit, stay looking deep straight, because you gotta understand something. If you got a predator looking in your face, Predator, you know that movie Predator? If it's some predator looking demons coming out, fam, you're gonna have to hit this on them. You hear me? And stay strong. Look at the love within. You got to stay, you got to stay one hand. Let me see it. Everybody right now in here, right now, everybody gonna have to hold it together. Let me see. There we go. Hands in there. Okay, order. Everybody gonna have to get in there right now. Stay straight with your eyes and go, she gonna have to see. And see, that's the problem right there. If they gotta see you do it, if you got to, listen to me, if anybody got to manually do this, if you got to manually put you together, the predator gonna be like, ha 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 ha, hachakala. They're gonna be like, hachakala, hakata. They gonna be like, da 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 da, something like that. Her hands, she making her hand do it. They gonna be like, get her, cause she ain't making her hand do it right. Go say that. And then she gonna start praying. She gonna do this. What does this mean? What? Let me tell you something. You better learn how to be an idiot. You better come up with it right now. You hear me, fam? Thinking it's a game up in here, thinking we playing. They're gonna open up a portal to hell, and if they come up in here, you better do this, get the gun, get them blasted, and you better be like, throw some holy oil. Let me tell you about holy oil. My mama used to, you hear me? You hear me? She'll smack the shit out you with that holy oil. Boy, come here. The sad part is, don't get popped and did something bad, and you got to get prayed for, because you used to pray for all of us. You better come here. Come here. Because I told you 2-3 times, get over here early. And she got holy oil on that hand. Pop, smack, splash. Jesus, plead the blood of Jesus over here right now. Bring her back home, Lord. Yeah, right. Her thumb and her pinky got me so bad. Don't ever get that thumb and that pinky. Ooh, tell you, man. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Hey, fam just said don't get the mark of the beast. Nah, fam, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that mark of the beast. And this is serious. Mark of the beast is you can't go to Walmart. You can't go to Walgreens. You can't go to gas station. You can't get no water. Yeah, you can't do nothing. So you need to understand when people talk about don't get the mark of the beast. Oh, it ain't as easy as you think. Because once they cut off all that money you working for right now, let's get you together today. Let's get right. All that money you working for that business, and then all of a sudden they implement the mark of the beast, all your money froze. Everything you got is froze. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We working hard as that thing, building all type of shit. But let that beast get implemented, and let the Amero. Let's get right quick. If anybody ever heard of the Amero, press 1. Anybody ever heard of the Amero? Press 1. The Amero is, you ever heard of Amero? The Amero it is the new currency. Okay? They want to make one world government, one type of money for all of us. Meaning, I don't care who you are. China, whatever. One world, one money, one government, one people. All on your chip. So the money name, the currency name is the Amero. But the way you receive it is with the chip. It's a barcode. That barcode receives is 666. That barcode. Okay? Let's understand how barcodes work, because we never understand how things are read. When you look at, or just like the Monster energy drinks, you see that's a number. That marking is numbers. So we talk about more than just numbers, or more than markings meaning more than numbers, or numbers meaning more than markings. Okay? That's the world. So what we're looking at is mark of the beast, barcode 666, the Amero, all of your money, all of your history, all of your wealth, health, whatever, all on the chip. And it makes it easier, because think about what the world is doing. Everything is becoming more convenient. That's it. Everything is an app. Everything is an app, right? I don't care if you got a website, I don't care who you is. You can literally go get your own web. You can go get your own everything, engine, search engine, it don't matter. So they want to make it convenient for you to just watch TV. They want to make it convenient for you to watch your favorite app, your favorite shows, it don't matter. Everything is going to be convenient, and the convenience for the chip is we don't have to deal with another wallet, purse, credit card, insurance card. Look at all the cards in your wallet. Now think about your cards times a gajillion. That's what's walking the earth. A gajillion people with a gajillion cards, with a gajillion information, and it's a new mother coming in every day. So they looking at it like, man, we got to control all these people. Think about that. Think about that. You got 13 families. Think about this right quick, y'all. You got 13, and we're going to look them up this week. You got 13 families running the world. Think about this. This is just miraculous. Because these 13 families come from a bloodline that comes from a time, because I keep talking about the times. That was medieval times. That was the dinosaur time. That was the Noah's situation time. You understand? It's the time. And then look at this time. AI. This is the AI time. Okay? So we talk about the bloodline, the times in existence. These things still exist. So what I'm saying is 13 families from a bloodline that started in the times of the world beginning. They are the descendants that's running the world, the 13 families. And we're going to break down each name as well this week. You understand what I'm saying? Because as we break down each name, we can actually look each name up so you can know their position of rank, power, and how they still exist today. You understand? They have the faces of these people today that look like me and you. But the difference, they are not mankind. So as you, just like Jared Kushner, who we gonna cook him. Wait till you see his face. Wait till you see his body. Just wait till you see him. He is not human. I believe that with my soul, that's me. I don't believe he's human. I don't think he's mankind. I believe he's clone. I believe he's made from something else. That's my alleged position. Okay. Now, hit that like button, double tap that screen. Pastor Darby is really gonna break down what I'm saying, and you're not gonna even believe when this video was made. So if he's talking and he's telling you they just found out, when I tell you when this was made, that'll let you further know how far they come to understand where they at today, 2026. If this is how he talking in this day, today it's demons walking out of full-fledged portals now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We cook it.
What they call the wall. The wall they have found by this machine they got, that there is a wall that they know that is holding back antimatter or darkness. They know it. Now what they're doing this time is trying to find the building blocks of that wall so they can dismantle it. So they can let whatever's being held back come through. That's why they're saying they don't know what might come through. But now that they done started this machine up, they're starting to hear demons and all types of stuff now because they're getting close to this. Come on, y'all. Now you now.
Hold up, let me say this real quick, y'all. Hear me out. He just said that they starting to hear. I'm gonna tell you what year this was, and the guy we just got done talking to or listening to, he just said after they run the machine, the whole town be hearing humming for days. Like it's an entity just humming some type of ritualistic something. But there is a spirit literally humming throughout the time. You know, CERN ain't over here. You know, it's over there. So in their country, in that town, they saying they constantly hear just hums of some type of entity or some dark something that just the frequency is the word I'm looking for. They hear a frequency that just never turns off. I'm telling you what that is. And again, he's talking from the year he made this, and we're talking about what's going on today.
Show y'all how you watching this. Now I know most of y'all saw the movie The Avengers. You know the movie with the Marvel.
See how you keep talking about
with the Hulk and then Captain America and all them. The last one. Now y'all know not the Ultron, the one before that, because I didn't see the last one. I didn't see the Ultron. I saw the one before that. Remember in that movie how there was a listen now, y'all. I gotta say this to get you to understand, because these concepts are very difficult to understand if we talk about physics. So we're gonna talk in terms of we understand. Since most of y'all seen the movie, you would understand what I'm gonna tell you. Now, you know, in this movie, the guy called Loki, which was a god, came and he was looking for this power, this energy source. It was a blue energy source called the Tesseract. This Tesseract had the power, had enough power that if they would, work with it, they could open a portal. Remember?
Okay, now I never tripped off that. You know about Loki. That's Thor's brother. He's talking about Avengers. They had a ball. It was a square. It was a tesseract. And he's talking about how that was going to open up portals if they can open it up. I didn't know that that referred to CERN. And that's why they were showing us those type of things in a superhero non-fiction type of situation. They never wanted to show us a real story, so they made up characters and gave us this in that manner because why? This is real. So they tried to give us this information in a cartoon made up play type of thing when really this is real.
That's what the goal was, to open a portal, because when they opened the portal, on the other side of the portal, there was like demons waiting to come through. Do y'all remember that movie? Every movie, sci-fi movie, has been saying the same thing all the way back since Star Trek. They're trying to open something. Everything that we have learned is about opening up a portal. And I'm going to make it personal, but first I got to give you the overall understanding. You got what I'm saying? Now, so over there in Switzerland, that 17-mile circle is a big portal that once it gets to full capacity, something's going to open.
Think about that, fam. That's 17 miles of a portal. 17 miles wide. They trying to bring a whole, like that it's something called LA Brea on Netflix. It's about come on, and it's a hole that literally that creates in the ground, and people start falling in. And this is on Netflix. So what's funny is they created something called Orphan Black, talking about clones at a high level, and then they come up with this new show talking about LA Brea. And LA Brea is showing you a hole in the city of the ground, and cars, people, buildings is falling in it. You can look that up right now. And I'm like, why would they be showing that now, right? But what I tell you about them doctors, about the pastors that's talking about these entities that they had a meeting with, they said that Steven Spielberg was going to make a movie about the demons coming in the world. Right. So that's what I mean by automatically they make the movie to what? Desensitize us, make us feel like it's nothing. And they know it works because we don't react to this. We got social media, bro. We can all react. If ain't none of us on there talking about, oh my God, I'm about to kill myself. I'll feed my family. Get your kids, get Day-Day deal. Listen, ain't none of the comments saying that. People on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that TikTok, they on there just saying stupid shit. Like, man, them ain't demons, bro. If it is, I'm going to have to shoot them with my ET gun. Come on. That's what people saying. So the government looking at us like, because you know they got all of our face recognition. They got all of our information from all these social medias. So they seeing when something happens, Chris, in the world, they can monitor what we say about it. You understand this, fam? That's the point of having all of our sign-ins. If like when the aliens was in Miami at the mall, they seen what everybody said on YouTube. They seen what everybody said on you know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody on there scared going crazy. Some people were scared going crazy, but other people was like, oh, for real? Wow, if I would have seen him, I would have climbed the tree. What your dumb ass gonna say you would climb them? Cause who gonna say what? It's just stupid. So this is what I mean by they'll be crying, but it's like y'all not saying it on social media, y'all making a joke of it, and the government see it and they like, okay, well just keep feeding them that same remedy. We're gonna keep giving them movies, making them desensitized, and then we're gonna put some real information out there. They'll never know the difference, right? Because they seeing it all the way. So hit that like button, double tap that screen. 17-mile length of a big light portal from CERN.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about this, what they're collecting. They had collected this antimatter, and it takes a long time to collect a little bit, like a gram of it. It takes a long time. But they took and hid that antimatter in a college years ago. And in this college, people started having weird dreams and getting possessed and all kinds of bad stuff happening. This is where they stored it. Because the antimatter, they say, when it comes in connection with you, it will begin to pour the darkness or magnify the darkness in you. See, because you are made up, listen, you are made up of matter. You are also made up of anti.
What did he just say? You better listen. Better listen.
But they took and hid that antimatter in a college years ago. And in this college, people started having word dreams and getting possessed and all kinds of bad stuff happening. This is where they stored it.
So they stored matter at a college. And in that college, people began to be demonic. People began to be crazy out of their minds, acting weird. Do y'all understand what's going on here? That man said where they stored this matter. Matter is what's coming up out this portal. And they doing it at very, very, very high level, large rates. So if they can store matter in a college and all the people at that college go crazy and want to kill themselves, what you think is of the world if they gonna store it in the world? We all gonna be running around here like we on that new drug where you running into walls and into cars. What they call that? What was that one drug and people in LA running into the wall?
Oh, that flocker.
That flocker. There we go. Oh, love with that. You gotta look it up. Look with it. Look it up. Be so glad you don't know nothing. I be wanting you to know all the new stuff. And that sounds so bad. But I be so amped like, oh, you don't know? Okay, yes. I be like, no, you don't know. No, you don't know.
This is why I'm up here. No filters.
You don't know. Let's get ordered that. Just like the drug flocker. People was taking flocker running around in LA like they was some zombies. And I couldn't believe it. And I'm gonna be real with you. If we never had seen zombies or Walking Dead, or what's the other show? Like a Walking Dead, Dead Man, all of that. If we never seen them shows, fam, we wouldn't know how to react to that. Because I seen that and was like, this man just ran into a wall. Full speed. Running into a car. No, the car didn't hit him. He hit the car. What? Hit that like button, double tap that screen. I'm trying to get you to understand what Flocka do. So when we talk about these things and how movies do this, it makes you want to go back and look at Loki, Thor, and see how the Tesseract and how light, how they talked about the portal opening up and opening up new realms, opening up new dimensions. And they continuously talk about those things. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Follow this man because he's telling you that they put matter in a college and everybody at the college went crazy and lost their mind. So that's telling you this is what CERN is using and wants to open up and have already done it, and matter is here now. You need to understand how you got to deal with black matter.
Because the antimatter, they say, when it comes in connection with you, it will begin to pour the darkness or magnify the darkness in you.
Oh my God. Now that's why the movies really hit better. Woo-hoo.
Something's going to open. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this, what they're collecting.
Listen.
They had collected this antimatter, and it takes a long time to collect a little bit, like a gram of it. It takes a long time. But they took and hid that antimatter in a college years ago. And in this college, people started having word dreams and getting possessed and all kinds of bad stuff happening. This is where they stored it. Because the antimatter, they say, when it comes in connection with you, it will begin to pour the darkness or magnify the darkness in you.
Woo! Did you hear that? This man said antimatter can come up on you and start to manifest the bad in you. The possession in you, the madness. That means something in you is unrighteous, not good, bad, and antimatter can come close and literally manifest itself to create something in you. This is what is here. Let's keep going.
See, because you are made up, listen, you are made up of matter. You are also made up of antimatter.
That's good and bad.
Let's think in. You are made, remember Jesus said, if the light in you be darkness, how great the darkness. You are made up of matter and antimatter. Throughout the course of your life, if you never accept the light, then you will remain and grow in antimatter or darkness.
Getting right.
So they're capturing evil. Which when that evil gets close to you, it's like a magnet. It magnifies the evil in you. Let it sink in. Please let it sink in. This is what they over capturing in this machine. So when they release...
I got to rewind there because somebody lost somebody ear something along the way. That man just said that we got good and bad in us. And when antimatter that's bad in us come up on us, it activates the bad in us. Now, what do you think bad came from in us? We was born in God's eyes, no of sin, but yet sin was in the earth. So once you're born, you're coming to earth, and it's just something about the wave of sin is just coming to your body. The eyes, how they talk about that's the entering place. The ears, the nose, the taste. These are all gates. The fact that your blood is blue, but let it cut and just get into the air, it's red. What we talking about? You are automatic explodes to bad, to anti, to black, to darkness.
Comes in connection with you, it will begin to pour the darkness or magnify the darkness in you. See, because you are made up, listen, you are made up of matter. You are also made up of antimatter. Let us sink in. You are made, remember Jesus said, if the light in you be darkness, how great the darkness. You are made up of matter and antimatter. Throughout the course of your life, if you never accept the light, then you will remain and grow in antimatter or darkness. So they're capturing evil, which when that evil gets close to you, it's like a magnet. It magnifies the evil in you.
Wow.
Let it sink in. Please let it sink in. This is what they over capturing in this machine.
They playing with
So
it.
when they released this, and they said this, it's going to change people into literal demons. The only thing that's going to stop it is what God has put her to restrain. There's only one thing restraining Satan from totally destroying you. I mean, totally taking your mind and everything away. It's just, listen, right now, for us that believe, it's the Holy Spirit. But there's also and I'm going to show you in the Bible where this exists. There's also, they found out there is a restrainer, a wall. They call it a veil that is literally holding back. Listen, now listen to what I'm saying. Matter, smallest building block, matter, right? It's stable. In other words, it doesn't catch on fire. You have to catch it on fire in order for it to burn. But they say antimatter is already on fire. It has to be contained because it's already burning. That's why they need that big facility to hold it. They said if a little bit of this stuff get out, it could be like 40 nuclear bombs. So when you start looking at this stuff going on in Revelation, what was happening to these places, now you see why these earthquakes was going on. Because y'all heard what I'm saying. Now, so are y'all staying with me so far? So this is what they're doing over there. And what they're saying, and what they're saying they're doing is that they are trying to find out how it was at the Big Bang. That's what they said they're doing. And so that's what they said. They're trying to reproduce the conditions to find out what happened, what elements came together to give them that Big Bang, which we know that was just a lie. So now I'm gonna go deep. You ready? I'm gonna go deep. Y'all ready? Come on now. You got to keep get your spiritual mind out here. Now, so they're looking for the God particle. Now listen. This is where I best describe it.
God particle.
Let's say you came into you was driving and you drove up on a city. City was full of houses and it was all buildings there and people could live there and everything. and you wanted to find out how they were built, right? So you start trying to break it down and thinking, but you instead of you finding nails, you find everything's put together by glue. So you start trying to dissect it to get down to find out what is the glue made out of. That's what they're doing. Everything is being held together by something. They know it. We are here being held together, but they want to find out what is holding it together, right? So they want to mess with the glue. So these particles, they're trying to get to the finest particle to find out what everything is built from. That's why they call it the God particle. Yeah, does this make sense? Now, we know in the Bible that the Bible says he upheld all things by the word of his power. Everything that's into being is being held together by God's word. So when they get all the way, and listen, I'm showing you what they're doing, and it's going to blow you.
Why don't I always say, hit that like button, double tap that screen. Why do I always say all things work together for what? And if I don't never always go back to that, I be wanting y'all to hear it, and I have to say something right now. I know we in this with Darby, but hear me. If we don't understand how all things work together for the good, even the bad, the worst, the things that you think is terrible, stuff I'm going through family-wise, I could think like, man, if you can't fix this, oh my God, everything gonna fall apart. But boy, it works together for some I don't even see in the future. That at some point I'm gonna look back like, Lord, if it wasn't you, who was it? There's something about you can't tell me about you saying who you think you is, but yet you still gotta call on the greatness. You still gotta call on something that know more than you, that know your future. And you don't believe this? There's something about the word that's saying, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. If you really understood that passage, it's trying to say you are nothing without me, really. You are not as greater, because greater is he that is in me. I make all of this one. And yet they trying to break the glue to see what's holding it together. But yet, if he can tell you prophecy, things that have come to pass that's been written a cajillion ages ago, but yet we still here standing, you can't tell me that ain't based on the word. Because all that is being said is what is coming to pass. You can't tell me that ain't right. That ain't what's holding us together. If all it takes is a little bitty matter to create a nuclear bomb, Lord, why he ain't took us yet? And they over there playing with it. You understand? They playing with it. So how we ain't gone yet? Because they can just play with it and it just leak out and boom, kazoom, everybody good job. That ain't prophecy. That ain't real. That ain't what that is. That goes with this, but it's not to end in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? It yet goes together because it wouldn't be together if he didn't let it happen. This has been going on for ages, decades. This wouldn't even be able to come to pass. People wouldn't even be smart enough to put it together if this wasn't ordained to be given. You understand? What happened with Cain and them back then, Cain and Abel? Somebody had to come tell him how to start making weapons. He ain't come up on that itself. You talking about the demons, spirits, fallen ones coming down to tell him how to do this, how to do that. And yet we got weapons today that we just seen on movies, and we like, woo woo, how the hell they make that? Who came and told them how to do that? So you need to understand your position and who you are and who's who. Because even if we didn't think that we can just do it on our own, you gotta know there is a bigger spirit. There is a being beyond us, giving information for things we never had and technology that we never knew about. Something was written in Egypt days that was only gonna manifest today because of the technology that we came across. It's so many things that's written, but it's written only for today because of the technology we was going to come across. They can create, they can plant the seed, but somebody has to water it, and somebody got to come and make it grow. And that is the only way that life and ideas happen. Someone to plant that seed, ages go past, someone come water that thing, that go past, somebody in AI time, give it growth. And that's the level we at now. We are giving things growth. Whether it's good or bad, we are giving it growth. We are giving it life. And this has already been prophesied that it would happen. I urge you to wake your dumb ass up. And I gotta say that, no disrespect, but respectfully. You know if you really being dumb right now and not really taking heed to something that's gonna come in your face, and then you're gonna be crying when your daughter and your son looking at a monster and looking at your dumb ass because you don't know how to fight. But yet you pulling up every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. with your boy, No Filters. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. But what you learning? You have no direction, but you know shit. Where you going? What you finna do with what you know? Oh no, I'll wait. Oh no, I'll wait. Because if your stupid ass knew it all, you would tell us where we going. Where we going with what you know? Just let me know right quick, man. Enlighten us. Because there's something about you still thinking about where you going. You ain't got it. No, you ain't got it. Because if you did, you can run it right now. Run it. The comments are open. You are free to type. Run it. We want to know. Still thinking, huh? You don't have an answer. You got a way that you think I should live, but you don't have an answer for where I should go. That makes no sense. It's a reason why we have to live this way, because we have to end up somewhere because of our actions of how we're living. Let's make it make sense. Tell me how to do some shit, but you ain't tell me where I'm going. Got all that mouth, but you don't know where the hell we going. You know, the best thing you can do is be quiet. Because until you find out where you want to go, yeah, you might sound like you know where we going. Because your mind ain't even made up. So when you find out where you want to go, then let us know, fam. And we'll figure out if that makes sense. You ain't even got a decision made up yet. All you know is you don't want to die. That's all you know. You don't want to die. Lord, I pray, Father, that we truly are enlightened, or that the wisdom is given to somebody in here, that we know where we need to go. Because even if you ask me, and I can't even tell you, Lord, I'm open to finding out. We have to be open to finding out where we should be and where we should be going. Because for what's to come, if you believe what's to come, we're going to need more than just us. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We're going to need more than just us if this is what's to come.
When they get all the way down to the finite understanding, they're going to find what God is using to hold it all together. That's why the war between Satan and Christ wouldn't be a war unless Satan had a real weapon. So what is the real weapon? It is what they're going to try to use, what God is using, which is just the. Now, when we say his word, what is that? What is his word? What is this? It's his power. They're going to find out what it is and weaponize it. They're going to weaponize it. This is the reason why they're going to be ready to fight against the Lamb when he comes. Are y'all ready? Because when you get down to the finite, it's all being held together by his word. Well, that's what they found out. The scientists are saying they found out what. Now, they're not calling him the God of the Bible, but they understand there is a creator. And they found now, what they have found is this creator has built a wall of separation so that those dimensions that are chaotic, they said those dimensions are chaotic. It's chaos, just like hell. And we are literally being protected by a veil that God put around us. But man is going to have to. Now, what does these movies keep telling you? Man keeps, in that movie, The Transformers, Megatron got the humans to build him a body. He's getting man, thinking that man is getting knowledge to open the portal for him. To do what? To let the fallen angels come through. So man think he's wise, and they sitting there building our own destruction. Wow. Come on, y'all please tell me y'all can handle what I'm saying. Is this too much? Come on, get your pure mind out. I'm trying to show you what's going on and what they're doing and what the effects are going to be once they get this thing up to full power. All right, now.
So important that he said Transformers, because I didn't think of that. I just really understood that now. The fact that he said Transformers gets that portal open to bring them in so they can help him fight the bad guy. That's what the Transformers. The
Transformers wrote more than meets the eye.
That's what they saying. Shout out to you bringing that enlightenment in, love within. Transformers are always fighting the Decepticons, and the portal is open that they want man to create so his friends and his other soldiers can come in from back in the day. Wow! Transformers has been telling us how they gonna do us. And we've been going to see Bumblebee like, ooh, he going crazy. Bumblebee pull up, swap in, transform, pick you up, drop you off, take you on a date, come get you, talk to you emotionally. He do the radio station, change up, play the little music you like. They made a whole movie called Bumblebee. What we talking about? They had the cube in the Transformers. Shout out to you, Uncommon One. I ain't even know that. Shout out to you. See what I'm saying? We learning. We all learning. See, I'm here to enforce what we're learning. I'm here to direct the way we learn it. I'm here to engage. I'm here to say, oh yes, oh no. I'm here, Lord. Thank you for direction, Lord. If that be my reasoning, if that be no filters, let it be. If it not be, respectfully, I get it. I understand. For those things we know and for what we don't, we yearn to know. That's the difference. Other channels yearn to talk about it and make it a talking, but nobody's saying this the way we should be going, or this the way we shouldn't be listening to, or that's not right. You get what I'm saying? And I urge people to do that because, again, at the end of the day, Pastor Darby be on it. Shout out to Derek in the building. I really appreciate this brother explaining this. Let's keep going because he's saying, again, Transformers are showing us that they bring in their old demon guys because they actually are transforming. They have to be built. So they really are evil spirits coming in and acting like they good spirits to fight the Decepticons. And just like Harry Potter, good witches versus bad witches, that's not right. It's all bad witches.
Get your word. Let me give you some scripture. Get your word out. Come on, bro. 2 Thessalonians chapter did I say chapter?
Thessalonians.
Chapter 2. That's supposed to be chapter 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And I'm gonna show you this so you can understand it. Now I just happened to copy this out of the NET Bible. It was an accident. I wasn't paying attention to what I was copying down, but this is the Bible. Please don't go into no verse. Don't. Do I have to get the King James up? Because Negro, you know how we do, you know. I believe the Bible, trust me. Are y'all there? But I like how this is reading, so I'm gonna read it out of this. Amen. Y'all ready? Are you there? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. It says, now regarding the arrival of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered to be with him, we ask you, brothers and sisters, not to be easily shaken from your composure or disturbed by any kind of spirit or message or letter allegedly from us to affect that day of the Lord is into the effect that the day of the Lord is already here. This is what we're dealing with now. People just don't know. It's all kind of stuff going on. You better know what you believe. Verse 3, let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not arrive until the rebellion, say the rebellion. The rebellion comes and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. The man of...
Okay, did you hear that? He's saying ain't nothing gonna happen until the evil is in lawlessness, meaning like evil is law. Meaning take the mark of the beast. Law. Let's act like we understand what he's saying now.
From your composure or disturbed by any kind of spirit or message or letter allegedly from us to affect that day of the Lord is into the effect that the day of the Lord is already here. This is what we're dealing with now. People just don't know. It's all kind of stuff going on. You better know what you believe. Verse 3, let no one deceive you in any way. For that day will not arrive until the rebellion, say the rebellion. The rebellion comes and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. The man of lawlessness, son of destruction. Y'all got that?
The man of lawlessness, meaning like the president revealing destruction. He just revealed Project Bluebeam, telling pastors what's coming. Almost just threw this at every screen. This screen, that screen, that screen. Because if it's written and we tripping, am I tripping? This written. They say don't trip on nothing until the man of lawlessness reveals the destruction. And what is he doing? Revealing UFO now. He's revealing destruction now. So he's saying don't be deceived, but until. Let's go.
Now, let me blow your mind. You ready? This Pope, this wicked Pope, has just came out and said that Jesus Christ is not the truth.
Oh, wow.
The Pope. He also said, and I'm going to blow your mind, that we're waiting to reveal aliens as angels. Now, to show y'all how messed up this is, wow. There is the Vatican has a telescope in America, the most powerful one in the world. And they say they have seen something coming. The Vatican. Listen, y'all, this is what the world is getting ready for. They say they see something that's coming, and they're getting ready for it. And they're ready to the Pope said we're ready to reveal the Messiah. Wow. This is what's happening while we arguing over doctrine. They sitting there saying we're ready to. That's why they try to tell you that any church, all churches must come back under the Vatican or the Roman Catholic Church. That's why they're telling you that. Because the Pope is, of course, he's Antichrist. I taught for years that that was a false prophet. He's going to give his power to the beast. The beast is coming. Wow. Now, why do y'all think that the Catholic Church put out the lie of the rapture? Yeah, it's a lie. I'm going to show y'all why they did this. Y'all ready? Because they have a false Christ coming. That people are going to think that's the Christ. Wow. And they said his name may be Sanada, that Hindu god that's supposed to, that even the image of Christ ain't even Christ. But I mean, it's really hard to even deal with that part. But that's who they see. That's why they got that image, that fake image of Jesus in your mind, because that's what he's gonna look like. And people, oh, that's Jesus with this bird and this little gay look. You gonna think it's him? That's why God was crafty in Revelation to say this is what he looked like. This is what he looked like. So when he come, if he ain't got this afro and this dark and this bronze skin, then we ain't talking about.
Wow.
Y'all got what I'm saying now?
Trying to profile.
So the Pope, now you can look at something. This ain't even no. It's so funny how the devil was putting it right in our face now, because he know we too dumb down to even look at it. So they said they're waiting for these, for this. Now, they've been talking about this planet that they've been seeing coming for years, and you can actually see it now. If you catch it on some days or some mornings, you can actually see this planet. So they know it's coming.
Wow.
Now, our governments have dumbed it down, and Russia has threatened Obama. They told Obama, if y'all don't say that there's a planet of these beings are coming, we're going to tell it. Our government has been knowing this. They're getting the earth prepared for this. Y'all, come on. Can I go? Now, ain't it funny how our education system turned us off of anything supernatural, spiritual, but that's exactly where science is. Now science is in the spiritual and supernatural. Are y'all there? Okay, let me keep going. Come on, Tim. Okay, let no one see me, for that day will not arrive until the rebellion comes. The rebellion is coming. This is what the Pope is saying is coming. Now, he says, and the man of lawlessness, the beast, is going to be revealed, the son of destruction. Now, what's the name of the son of destruction? It's a name for him in the Bible. It's the Apollyon, the destroyer, which just to give you some information, the place where CERN is called Apollyon. Yeah, it's called. And I'll show you. I'll get a little deeper today. Okay, now he opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship, and as a result, he himself takes his seat in God's temple, displaying himself as God. Surely you recall that I used to tell you these things while I was still with you, and so you know what holds him back, so that he will be revealed in his own time. Read it out of King James. Got King James. Read it. Just read it, somebody. The sixth verse. Read it loud.
Now you know that what told him that he might be revealed in his time.
Okay. Now what is he saying? He's saying this thing could possibly be seen, but there's something holding it back, so he can't come. Even though the man of sin, this Antichrist, this beast, Satan, wants to come into our realm, into this natural realm, something's restraining him from coming. So these people over in Switzerland with this CERN machine are taking apart the restraint that God put in place to hold back that dark dimension.
What? That veil. So that's what they doing. See, shout out to you, Uncommon, talking about, shout out to Darby. That's why we had to look in that Darby. Because Darby saying that break apart that they're trying to see what's holding all of this together, and that's God's word, that's God. They're trying to break apart that veil, that part that God put in place to separate devil's spirit and mankind. So that's why right now he can't fully just have his way. He has a position, he has a way, but the fact that he can't penetrate or he can't have his way fully is because of what the Lord has put in place. But yet people at CERN, scientists, professors, are working every day and night for years. Let me tell you right now, this is 10 years ago. This right here was 10 years ago of this brother telling you about CERN. And this is 2026. So what does that tell you? That they have almost stopped playing today. They done broke it. They done about broke the veil. And if they ain't broke it, they getting close. You understand? Because again, they call Building 777. That is the new. That is the new and improved project. And in my mind, and it's just me, but I believe that's Building 666. You understand me? That's what I believe. And I believe that it said that because in the days of the earth today, they do not want to use that 666. They rather say 777. You ain't never heard of 888? And if that was the case, it would have been 999, 10, 10, 10. We ain't heard none of that. But we always getting 777 all of a sudden. So this is really crazy, and I'm glad we looking at this because Darby is really saying that these scientists is trying to break that veil, that penetrate that wall that the Lord has created for us. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, family. We cooking in here.
I don't know if y'all even be listening to what I be saying sometimes. So they done found out that I'm telling you, that ain't just something.
This is something.
Because they meddling with stuff, it ain't that they meddling. They don't want to, Bible says, because they want to retain God in their knowledge, then they became stupid fools. So they fools. They doing foolish stuff because they don't want to believe in the God of the Bible, so they go looking for something else. And Satan is promising them knowledge and eternal life. Build this for me. Build this. Come on, put this together. And that's why we have an explosion of knowledge, because science went from real science to the occult. So that's why everything we have built now is occultish. Because Satan promises them knowledge, and they get rich, of course, and get prestige and honor from the knowledge, but they just keep building him a world. They're building for him. They may not know they're building for him, but that's what they're doing. Now, so put it back up there. So you know that what holds him back so that he will be revealed in his own time, for the power of lawlessness, for the hidden power. Listen to me. You got to understand these scriptures. The hidden power means what you can't see, it's already working.
Wow.
This dark side is already working. Because I told you, what are they coming back to him? What are they collecting over there with that machine? Darkness, antimatter. There's matter, matter. Come on, I have to get y'all with this. It's the point of my thesis, and if I don't get y'all to get this, you'll be lost. They are collecting matter. They actually collecting the dark side of matter, the antimatter. Okay? This what they call chaotic and unstable. It is darkness. They are collecting darkness.
Wow.
Do y'all hear what I'm trying to tell y'all?
Wow.
God put us in a realm of light. This realm, this earth realm. I'm not saying earth, I'm saying dimension. What we can see, this 3 dimension is a realm of light. It's a realm of goodness. Even if you don't know God, there's goodness here. You sense goodness. You can feel love. That realm without the veil is chaotic. It's evil, totally demonic. It is hell. That's why the Bible calls it the bottomless pit, the abyss. It's not a hole in the ground. It's a dimension that's open. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? It is chaotic. I will tell y'all what it is better. The Bible says in the Genesis 1:1 that what happened was in Genesis was the earth was without form and void. That word void in the Hebrew meant chaos. Let it sink in. Which means the realm that God is withholding was once over the whole world. So when he said, let there be light, he started dividing, putting the veils, block them. And he said, put the earth here, sky here, go here. He was blocking the... But man is tampering with what is restraining darkness. And just so happens, listen now.
And what happened in the first world? With man tampering with darkness. With man tampering with levels. Man tampering with this. Man doing that. God went crazy and said, I got to shut it down. It's out of hand. Out of hand. That's what the first world was doing. Let's go.
Scientists have figured out, these physicists know that I told y'all before that antimatter, darkness, is in each one of us. Now, this is crazy. This is what happened to Adam. He was a creature of light. When he sinned, darkness came in him. Darkness came into the flesh of man. You got what I'm saying? After that, every man was born with automatic. That's why you ain't got to teach us to sin. We will sin because it's in us to sin. You got what I'm saying? The problem is that, well, not the problem, but the goal of life. Man, I'm giving y'all some stuff here. Listen, the goal of life is for you to meet the light, or you will die in your darkness. Which means your darkness. Now listen to me. Oh, God help me. These physicists have said that, remember, that what they are collecting, this antimatter, this darkness, is still connected to whatever's on the other side. And they said, and this one Christian scientist said that demons are attracted to antimatter or darkness. Woo, come on, let's sink in. So if a person, listen, lives their life and never runs into the light and starts to be renewed and regenerated by the light of Christ, the darkness in them will grow. This is why people that don't know Christ and get older, they hard. They just can't, they can't believe, because their darkness has grown. And the reason why this is so dangerous and understanding what the Antichrist is going to do is they're collecting this antimatter and they're going to use it in the tribulation, that when a person does not have the light in them, they will use it against you and increase your darkness. Think about what I'm going to tell you. Wow. Every dark thought, desire, deed in you will be magnified. Because scientists have said that when they take this antimatter and they bring it and it gets close to anybody, it begins to bring darkness out of people. People start getting hallucination and death and all kinds of stuff start happening in their mind, and they start seeing spirits and stuff. This is what these people are playing with. And we thought this is science. No, this is the occult. This is spiritual. Can y'all handle what I'm saying? Hold on, Tim. Let me show you. Let me show you. Oh, Lord. Mess with my. Oh, I got it. Put that up right, Tim. Now, this is the CERN logo. Over this is what the logo. If you notice what it is, it's 3 6s.
What I say?
Which is the mark of the beast.
Come on, now
the
look
beast
at the
being
logo.
Comes out of the bottom of the spirit. Are y'all there?
You know what I'm saying?
Take me down, Tim. I put me up there. This is the god of Shiva in front of the building of CERN. This god of Shiva is doing a dance of death and life and creation around a portal. Now, if I can break this down spiritually, finitely for you, this dance is an occultic dance that is designed to bring, okay, when Satanists want to operate, they know they need demons. That's why they draw circles, because they got to draw a portal, a star, a portal, a place for the spirit to come through. Now, depending upon the ritual, they need blood. They need, because the Bible says, listen, the power is in the blood. That's why Satanists need sacrifices, because they know that the blood can breathe. Listen to me now. I'm deep now. Can y'all handle this? The blood is spiritual and natural. It can cross both realms.
Wow.
The more the blood, that's why the Bible says when blood is spilled, the ground is cursed. Why? Because when innocent blood is shed, it's a place demons can inhabit.
Wow.
So if you go in there, if you ever seen witch doctors, anybody who operates in that stuff, it's always chicken blood all around. Why? Because that's what they use it to. They got to give the demons a portal to come through. Now listen, if you're a witch or you into witchcraft, you the champ. You are the portal. They come because remember you got the darkness in you, but you need to do the ritual to give them the power to come through you. Now Satan can't do a lot just coming through one individual here, one individual there. That's why he built a machine, so he can come through. That's just too much. Let me keep going. Shiva, this Hindu god. They got that. This is their symbol because what this god is doing is what they're doing. They're doing it scientifically, what the occult has been doing for centuries. Hey. See, science is the occult now. So when them witches are doing these rituals, what they're doing in the lab is what witches are doing. They're just not doing the rituals that witches are doing, but they're actually dealing with the elements that the witches are doing spiritually.
Man, that's crazy, man.
So you can conjure up demons a number of ways.
Straight up. Dance.
That's what them ritual dances in Africa are. That's why a lot of the dances they're doing now is ritual dances. A lot of this freaky nay, all that stuff, it's just ritual dances. That's why it makes people look gay when they do it. It's rituals. Because in voodoo, if that's what they do to conjure up Isu, them voodoo demons, they dance and then they go into a trance, which is what the clubs are modeled after. You do know when you was in the club and all that, that's what the club really was modeled from. Mesmer knew they took it from voodoo, that if you get enough people together, change their rhythm with a beat, that you can cause them to transcend. That's what voodoo is. Then what are they transcending from? So demons can come through. They're creating a portal. The dance is creating a portal. Mm-hmm. But that's why once a person gets to dance, you get sexual, you get lustful.
Wow.
Come on, is this too much? Now, is this too much? Are y'all understand what I'm saying? So this Shiva god is doing a dance called destruction, then recreation. Destruction and recreation. Put my picture up right, Tim. The circle is a portal. Now, let me show y'all what CERN is. Take me down, Tim. I put them up there. This is what CERN is. This is 17 miles of like a snake all the way around, which is just the Ouroboros, which is in Freemasonry, but I ain't got time going there. This is what it is. It's a machine, but it's like a long, big 17-mile long snake that they shooting these particles through at the speed of light. Real fast, trying to get it go real fast.
That's crazy.
Now, it even looked like a portal. It's a portal.
I did that.
Now, take me down, Tim. So Shiva's doing this dance, and the goal is destruction first, chaos, then recreation. You got what I'm saying? So what they are doing is destruction. They're going to destroy some stuff with this machine. They believe that's where the earthquake came from in Nepal. When they started that machine off. They started earthquakes. Anyway, and then the rebirth, which is the fake Messiah. Oh, wow. Y'all got what I'm saying? Wow. Now can we keep going? All right. Let me back up our Tim. Don't read that.
This deep.
No. Here we go. So that what holds him back, we revealed it on time, for the hidden power of the lawless is already at work. However, the one who holds him back would do so until he is taken out. Now listen, taken out. Didn't say he was moved or he left. They done found a way to take it out of the way. Oh, wow. They take it out the restrainer. Okay. So break it down. Let's go. Can we go further? Yeah. Come on. Can we go further? So it says, put it back up there, Tim. However, the one who holds him back would do so until he taken out of the way. Okay, so we know that what's restraining is a he. Okay. Right? So what is restraining evil? It's a he restraining evil. Oh, man. Now we know him in the person of the Holy Spirit. But y'all not catching how powerful this is. Even sinners, right now, he's restraining evil from sinners. So what are they doing? They finding a way. Oh man, I even just. Now there was when I studied this a while back, there was a scientist that said, listen now, I think I told y'all this, that there is an invisible shield around the earth. They can't see it, but they know it's there. They said this shield is holding back stuff, but they can't see it. What? See, the earth is protected by the power of that. So what are they doing? They finding ways to punch holes in the shield. Because God is so good. Listen how good your God is. Crazy, that he has put something here for those that even don't love him will still be protected. Wow. If they don't start messing with Satan's devices and open a hole for themselves. Y'all catching what I'm trying to tell y'all. You start sinning will create a hole. Did I not tell y'all that a while back, the portals of darkness? Sin attracts antimatter. Darkness. It creates a hole, a place, an atmosphere for demons to dwell. That's why you go in some places. This evil's been happening there. It don't feel good. Well, no, why you feel like getting there? Because man, you got all kinds of portals in here. That's why I never, when I found out haunted house, no, I'm going to haunted house. I'm going nowhere where they celebrating, conjurating, nothing. That's real. Going some people's house there, oh man, what's wrong? What's going on? This house, the chaos is in there. Because back in the day, your mama and them be like, boy, the devil in them. Or they go, the devil over there. Or the devil over there. Or she wearing them devil clothes. You understand? Or he over there thinking the devil. He over there smoking that devil weed. Smoking that devil tree. You understand? He drinking that devil liquid. You understand? That's what it used to always, but you never thought of it until now. Because you like, oh man, dude everywhere. It's like for real. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying like back then, we kids, and I was telling the family like, hey, we ain't pay attention back then because we was kids, we ain't care. But now that it's here and we in AI mode, it's like, oh wow, we getting broke down stories that every piece of everything got something to do with sin. Period. You know what I mean? Even if you find yourself in an alignment of what you like to do and the way you're doing it, he's saying that ain't you. That came from somewhere else. And I'm like, what? Fair work, bro. You feel me? But I want y'all to understand that because Pastor Darby always bringing the light and understanding that he bringing light to darkness, understanding, informing and being aware. And that's always the way we do it. Because as always, fam, you know what the level is. You know what's going on. Truly appreciate each and every one of y'all pulling up because see, this one right here, this about CERN. And I feel like CERN is even deeper, just like about Nephilim. But you got to understand, without Nephilim and without CERN, nobody can meet together to find themselves trying to bring in Nephilim. CERN needs Nephilim, Nephilim needs CERN. That's basically what the levels is, fam. As always, man, I truly appreciate you, and you pulling up. Make sure that you get you something to eat, something to drink, something to smoke if that's what you're doing, fam, because you know the title, fam. We here to hit that like button, double tap that screen. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode and share this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, make sure you get you something to eat, something to drink, and something to smoke if that's what you do, because you know the title, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters, fam. Good night, family. Y'all be safe. Keep that hammer. Lock your door. God bless, fam.